Welcome to Crushgasm, the podcast dedicated to the highs and lows of crushes from their first to their worst. We're going to cover them all with a cascade of characters, including our guest today, a fellow Spice Girl stan, Natalie Schaffer, an anxiety-induced TV watching, broad city personality having, lover of awkward situations, who doubles as a publicist with the mostesses, who is here to talk not only about the PR side of life, but also her crush on someone we've chatted a bit about on this show before, and that is Disney Channel original movie royalty, Ryan Merriman. Natalie, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We were just talking before we started. You were actually watching Look of the Irish, so
yeah. I'm currently in California at my sister's house, and she's got a 7-month-old son, and he is my nephew. And I was like, have we introduced him to the magic that is Disney Channel original movies? She's like, no. So I put that on today just to get myself reamped for this and to remember the magic that are those movies. You know,
she had not started to introduce them. I think that's like, you can call CPS. Like, how are
you, what are we doing here? What is he watching if it's not this?
I know. My brother has a 9-year-old and he had never seen Hocus Pocus.
Nope, this is blasphemy. It's just not right.
I know. I'm like, the wrong siblings are having children. They don't know how to race.
Right. Give them to me. I'll show them what's up.
So let's get to this. So Ryan Merriman, he hails from a town down in Oklahoma that is only about an hour and a half away from Tulsa, which I think any millennial who's ever held a tiger beat will tell you is the home of Hanson. And that got me thinking, I thought you were going to come with like a more music-based crush. Like, why didn't you lean that way?
Because if I was going to be honest, I think I was like, oh, why didn't I choose Harry Styles for this? But I feel like when I think about who my first crush was, like who was the first person that like made me look at the TV with like my jaw open a little bit, it was Ryan Merriman. In Luck of the Irish, I remember being in my room, I had a TV in my room. I've always had a TV in my room. I am that kid. And just kind of like looking at him and feeling a different way. And I was like, oh yeah, like that was the first time I felt something for another person that wasn't like friendship. So he always is like the first person I'll bring up. And it's funny that you mentioned he already came up before. So like, did someone else mention him? Are we all feeling this way about Ryan Merriman?
No, we'll get to why we talked about Ryan Merriman because it was kind of a weird situation. So we'll get there. So I want to know what made Ryan Merriman stand out for you and like made him like kind of notable all these years later. Because sometimes we do forget our first crush or that first person who made us feel all tingly in new places.
No, those are the words. The words were tingly. What was it about him? Because I was looking at him now as I'm watching the movie. I'm like, spiky hair, and especially in like Look of the Irish, he's just like got the ears, like the leprechaun ears. So I wasn't sure, but maybe he looked like the boys I had crushes on in high school, which was like bleached, spiky hair. I don't know. I remember loving his voice. But I really don't know. It was just kind of there for me. You know, love at first sight. There's no explanation about it. It's just there.
You mentioned the ears. Did that have any role in like maybe you liking Legolas or Orlando Bloom later in Lord of the Rings? Because that was a huge 2000s crush as well for many.
Right. I'm gonna go the other way and tell you that it made me. I also had a crush on Bernard from the Santa Claus, who was an elf and had those ears. So I don't know, maybe there's a correlation there, but I hope no one gets mad. I haven't seen any of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, so.
That's okay. I had Legolas posters all over my room in high school, and I'd only seen one. Oh. Total is just like, he's pretty. I had shirts with him on it, but the second movie they're so long.
I just can't. I don't have the attention span for him.
And you mentioned like Ryan Merriman. He did kind of look like other people that you were crushing on, I was crushing on in school. Because like if you were to draw the most stereotypical white adolescent at that time, like I think you would draw Ryan Merriman.
Oh, 1000%.
Yeah, because he looked like just every boy, but there was something extra special about him.
Yeah, and him just trying to, maybe it was like him trying to figure out who he was. Like it kind of showed like a sensitive side of like a boy and just being like, I want to know where I came from. And I don't know, maybe that had something to do with it too.
Plus, you said you were about 12, 13 years old. That's when we're figuring out who we are too. So maybe you were kind of mirroring that.
Yeah, it could be very true.
And like we mentioned before, Ryan Merriman, he isn't new to the Crushgasm conversation. We had Joanna and Sam on from Disney Channel Original Newbies podcast, in which they go back and they actually watch all the old Disney Channel original movies and they go to the present. And yeah, it's actually Sam, the male counterpart of the pair. He was a big fan growing up, and Joanna had never seen any of them because she grew up watching PBS in the woods, kind of just into books. So when I asked them to do the show, I was like, well, let's do your Disney Channel original movie crushes. She had to retroactively pick a crush, and she picked Ryan Merriman. So
that's so exciting.
But she picked him more in Smart House, not Luck of the Irish, because shocker, she didn't think it's a great movie.
Okay. Agree to disagree.
So, what makes Luck of the Irish a personal favorite of yours, other than, starring a hot boy?
Probably the nostalgic factor for me. It was just like a comfort thing I would put on. And it was one of like the Disney Channel. Smart House is good. I liked it, but I didn't like the idea of like a house like kind of coming alive. So maybe I was afraid of that at that time. Just very nostalgic. And I just remember loving it as a kid, and I'd probably put it on to go to sleep and things like that. So I just have an affinity for it.
Now, I remember when I was that age, maybe even a little today with my famous crushes, when they have like a female counterpart, I kind of get like jealous. So did you like hate Bonnie?
I probably did then. Now I'm like looking at her and being like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. She's so cool. Like, I'm so glad this is happening for them. But I also get very jealous, especially with old Harry Styles and Olivia Wilde. That's where the jealousy is really seething within me right now. But Ryan Merriman, I don't remember feeling jealous. I just remember like jaw dropped at the screen being like, where can I find me one of these?
Well, if you want to team up, Olivia Wilde is actually one of my crushes. And I am like gonna fight Harry Styles. So.
Oh, okay. Hey, I love to see the other side of this. Yes.
Yeah, I loved her with Jason Sudeikis, so it was kind of very heartbreaking for me. And I'm just going through it right now.
Hey, I'm right there with you, and I hope her and Jason get back together. To be honest,
fingers crossed, free up Harry for you, and make
for
me
all
proud.
of us.
It's for the better of the world.
Yes, I agree.
Were you someone that like lived for the Disney Channel original movies every month back in the day?
Oh yeah, it was like that, and what was it, TGIF with like Boy Meets World and all those shows. So yeah, that was how I got through my weeks, was waiting for those shows to come on and those movies.
Do you have any other favorite like DComs other than Luck of the Irish, and maybe not Smart House because it was pretty scary?
I loved Motocross. Do you remember that?
Yes, that's a really good one.
Okay, that's a great one.
Another one where it was very, that's what boys look like at the time, spiked hair, the X Games type thing.
And I was super into like snowboarding too. So I remember, sporty people really like piquing my interest as well.
Johnny Tsunami.
Oh, yes. Okay. Johnny Tsunami. Yes. Me and my brother-in-law were just talking about how Bonnie looks like Johnny Tsunami's sister in Luck of the Irish.
Oh, is it the same person?
I don't think so.
Oh, and it's because they like to recycle at Disney.
Oh, they sure do. Sure do.
So did any other like crushes spawn from the DCOM era?
Let me think.
Let's be reminded, High School Musical and Camp Rock are also Disney Channel original movies. So maybe.
Okay, hot take. I wasn't into either of those. I thought Camp Rock was like so cheesy. And what was the other one you just mentioned?
High School Musical.
High School, I just don't like musicals. I just don't like, it takes me out of it when they're just like a scene is happening and then they're like, and when I'm shooting a basket, I can't, it takes me out of whatever I need to be in. My 2022 goal is to try to get more into musicals. Find one I like and try to go from there.
It's not for everyone. My husband, he doesn't like musicals at all. We tried to watch Cats. That's definitely a no on. And even if you like musicals, that one, I watched it with an edible and I got like 5-10 minutes in and I was like, what is happening?
I saw Kinky Boots live in New York and I did enjoy that. So maybe I'm like a girl that needs to see like the show, and not just from bed.
That's true. I would give High School Musical a shot though. At least the first one.
All right. I trust you on this. Although I can't look at Vanessa Hudgens the same anymore.
Just, block that out. But yeah, I've never seen Camp Rock either. I was like, but the soundtrack's good.
All right. Although I did think Joe Jonas was at his hottest in Camp Rock. So I don't know what that says about me,
Well, were you in the emo scene? He had that swooshy hair.
Sure did.
So you watch Luck of the Irish and you fall into crush mode and you go all in on this boy and you loved him for a handful of years. It's kind of like your first crush. And I think we hold those like, a little closer to us. But back then, did you watch that Lifetime original movie he was in called Dangerous Child?
I was hoping you were going to bring this up because yes, I did. And it only made me love him more.
I know. I remember I had like the TV Guide ad from it. I ripped it out and I just had that for years. It's probably somewhere still.
And his mom was played by one of the ladies from like a show where she like really portrayed someone like really, it was like not the Designing Women, was it? But yes, I'm so glad you brought it up because that was a movie I also watched a lot because he was like, he grew up a little bit and I don't know how to say this, but like him being like aggressive, I was just like, this is a different side of you that I haven't seen. I don't know. I don't know what made me like him even more in a role where he was terrible to his mother.
I know. For those who've never seen it, it was reversed. I mean, all Lifetime movies, the man is going to be an evil person. That's just what Lifetime does, except if it's a holiday movie. And he played an abusive son to his mother, who is Delta Burke. I just looked it up.
Yes.
Designing Women. So it was like back in the early 2000s that this crush developed and like the internet was still kind of new. It's not what it is today. We can't just try to slide into Harry Styles DMs, So how were you like indulging in your crush back then?
My parents would help me like videotape the shows that were on a VHS tape. So I was able to watch them over and over again. And yeah, without the internet, that's the only way I was able to kind of like watch it. Or I would like check out not a TV guide or like something in the paper. Remember when we were able to like look through things and be like, what's coming on tonight?
It's very exciting.
And I would just make sure I had the spare time to rewatch the movies that were replaying on either Disney or Lifetime.
Were there any other like notable Ryan Merriman roles?
Yeah, those are the only two. Was talking to you about doing this, I was like researching. I was like, what is he doing now? Like, has he been in anything else? And his IMDb page is like littered with like little things here and there. But those were the only two things I really, really went for.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was looking him up as well because, again, we haven't seen him in a while. If he's not Harry Styles, he's not everywhere, and he was in Pretty Little Liars for about like 4 seasons.
Okay. I just looked him up on Instagram. He's verified. Good to see it. His bio reads country boy, actor, golfer, dog lover. And I don't know if I'd, go down with the country boy thing. Like, I don't know if we'd get along right now anymore.
Yeah, you don't know what that could be a million different things.
Right.
Little red flag. Is he holding a fish in any of his photos?
No, but he did post an American flag, which isn't bad. Okay, I guess that's okay.
It's a little triggering.
I just don't know. I'm really cautious about things like this. Hey, he's still hot. Let's at least put that out there. He's still hot.
So how do you think you would have handled this crush on Ryan Merriman if we had like, Instagram and Twitter and all that back then?
If he was a Disney Channel original movie star and I was just me, I would slide into his DMs because I've slid into John Mayer's DMs. I slid into Harry Styles' DMs. So I would slide into those DMs.
No, you just go for it. Shoot your shot.
Why not?
Okay, so since we're talking about the 2000s, your 2000s crush, we're going to take a second to do some rapid fire questions about that era. All right, best 2000s TV show.
Boy Meets World.
Good choice. Did you like crush on anybody on that show?
Yes, huge crush on, was it Ben Savage or Fred? Yeah, Fred was one of yours, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay,
yeah. Ben Savage I was in love with because I saw the way he treated Topanga and I was like, can boys really fall in love with girls like that? And I was just obsessed with him.
That's interesting. You don't hear a lot of love for Corey. It's all like I love Sean, or even Eric gets a lot of love, but not maybe when he grows up because he gets weird.
Wait, what? Why no love for Corey?
I don't know, a lot. I never hear anybody say they had a crush on Ben Savage.
I got a crush on Ben Savage. I'll be that girl.
So, most notable fashion accessory from the 2000s.
Oh God. Wasn't there like a poofy ball on a chain that you could like put on your keys, or like that? Maybe I would hook it to the loop.
Yeah.
But okay, that was mine, I think.
Keychains were huge in the 2000s.
They're still huge for me now. I have 3 keys, but my keys are so heavy because I just want all the keychains.
You know, Claire's, they were popping with the keychains back in the day.
Yes, we love Claire's.
So, favorite 2000s song?
Oh shit. Oh, Samantha Mumba, Baby Come On Over Tonight. That one.
Oh, you know, she was supposed to open for the Backstreet Boys on their Millennium Tour. And I was like really excited because my best friend's mom, she was like, I was over there one day and I knew the tour dates. I had memorized them for the California dates because I was like, I want to go so bad. But my mom's like, the tickets are like $1 million. They were not. But I was at her house and her mom's like, oh, what are you doing on whatever date it was? And I was like, what? And I was like, oh, nothing. And she's like, I got tickets. I was like, ah. But Samantha Mumba didn't do our date at what used to be called the Anaheim Pond. It was like this weird trio called like ECW. And I was really upset because I wanted to hear.
Awesome. Was she amazing?
No, we didn't see Samantha Mumba. We saw ECW, who raised the roof or whatever.
Okay. Bummer.
Yeah. So I always think of that when I hear Samantha Mumba. Like, never got to see her. And your favorite personal memory from the 2000s?
I just remember like all these like pop songs like Samantha Mumba, like Mandy Moore and Candy and all these things, like putting dances together with my friends. And like then also trying to be like we're a girl group and like talking about it at school and like trying to get everybody ready for a performance that was never happening. But it made me feel confident. I remember enjoying being a girl at that time because I liked looking up to those things and getting excited to get pretty or dance or wear cute outfits and things like that.
You said performances that never were. You never tried to be in your middle school talent show?
No, I was on a dance team for a little bit where I was trying to perfect my moves, and I had performed to Destiny's Child. Why can't I think of it? Oh, Bootylicious, in front of my high school or middle school classmates. But no, we never signed up for a talent show or anything like that, which I do regret. I would say that would be a big regret of mine.
What would you have done in the talent show if you could go back?
Oh, probably sing something from Mariah Carey's Rainbow album to show the skills of my voice.
That is one of the first like albums I remember loving front to back, not just the singles.
1000%. I love it so much, Kendra. Like I still remember holding that CD. I was so excited. I got it for Christmas or something, put it in my boombox, and then would like make dances to that CD in my room.
So good. Rainbow, top notch. I remember my mom, she went the day it came out. We had like one music store at our little outlet mall, and she like had it for, I was always like on Tuesdays, like, Mom, this is coming out. I need you to go get it after work. And she would, because I don't know why. And she is actually able to get me like the promo posters. I had that on my wall. And
yep, I would do the same. Beg my mom would take me to Sam Goody. That's where we would go for my music.
All right. So per usual, we're going to cap our crush portion of the interview by diving into our imaginations. So say later in life, once you turned 18, you met Ryan Merriman and you hit it off. How do you think your lives would be today?
Probably, he and I would have like 6 children. He just seems like one of those guys who's like, I want a big family. We're probably living in upstate New York. We used all the Disney Channel original movie to invest in multiple properties. So we have a nice house, but we have 3 or 4 others that we have to take care of and be landlords for, but that's how we make our income. He's struggling to find work, but I'm still being really supportive. And he takes me to dinner once a week on the Disney Channel original movie earnings, and we ball out that way, just so he never forgets where he came from.
You should you work in PR, you should get him those gigs at like conventions, selling like photo ops.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Could use your publicist skills, get him those con connections. And in March in Connecticut, they're having a 90s con.
Okay.
So check that out.
Well, I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah, I'll take a train. That shouldn't be too far away for me.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We applied for press. Hopefully we get it because the Lawrence brothers are going to be there.
Oh God, you're so lucky. I hope you get it. I hope you get it.
I know, and Nick Carter and Joy Fatone and AJ McLean. Oh my God.
Is Aaron Carter gonna also be there?
Aaron Carter probably is not allowed near humans, so
You're totally right.
Yeah, my brother, like, I raised him right. He knows all the boy bands, he knows all that kind of pop culture, and he texted me like, "Have you seen Aaron Carter lately?" I was like, I know.
Fun fact, he is living in my hometown, which is Palmdale, California.
Oh.
He bought a house like in a neighborhood, and so all my friends, and I have some friends that work at the Guitar Center there, and I guess he's always there. But yeah, may he be okay.
Yeah, I just wish him well. I always get nervous when I see his name pop up because with that guy, it could go anyway. He could have been storming the Capitol. I don't know.
Party, come get it no more.
No. So for those wondering how me and Natalie know each other, it's because she got me an internship at Hopeless Records way back in the day. It was like a decade ago.
Oh my God, yes.
And anyone who has ever been to a Warped Tour they know what Hopeless Records is. It's one of the best labels. So I wanted to know, you started out as an intern there, right?
Yeah, that was my first internship ever.
And then you got a job there, and now you moved up. You moved to New York. How was that transformation going from LA to New York, a different company?
Yeah, it was really good. Hopeless showed me that I loved doing PR, so I just wanted to do more of it. The label was pretty small at the time, so we were all wearing a lot of hats, but PR was one of the things I got to do, and I was like, I want to do more of this. I want this to only be my job. And I met my boss through Hopeless, and I had always wanted to move to the East Coast because like all my favorite bands were from there. And I met my boss, and I kind of said, hey, will you take me to the East Coast, or I know you have like a Philadelphia office. I wanted to move to Philadelphia. And she goes, I'm going to move here for a little bit, but if you give me a couple more years in LA, we'll go back. And then she did. She kept to that promise. And so, yeah, I've been in New York it'll be 7 years in May.
Was it a hard adjustment coming from California to the East Coast?
No, I not at all for me. I mean, I miss having a car. I do miss driving. I miss the weather, but I really like the hustle and bustle of like a city, and I love public transportation, so I can just like read my book or like listen to my music and not have to pay attention to anything. And I had gone a lot for work while I was in LA, so I had like a good support system and friends there, so not too bad at all.
Now I'm going to ask you some PR questions. Let's get a little advice out there for any creatives listening. Can you tell the creative people out there the importance of a well thought out press release? Because sometimes they'll just send a link and you're like, what is this?
Oh God, no. You must have a great press release. You have to have something that like states the facts and have details and have everything correct so people know where and how to find you. I would say I've been personally getting a little more creative with my press releases. So it's just not like XYZ is putting out an album on this date. Pre-order it here. It's just like I'm trying to either highlight lyrics in some of the songs that I think people can relate to, or asking the artist to provide a quote, like really deep diving into what the song is about, what the record is about, like how can people relate to your art. Like that's how you fall deeply in love, I think, with music and things like that. So very important. Whoever's just sending a link, you're doing it wrong.
Nothing. I mean, they'll send like a link to listen to the music, but you're like, well, where's your socials? A bio, something like that. Even a photo,
Yeah. Come on, guys, get creative.
So we know having a well thought out press release is key, but what is like your number one do and number one don't of PR?
Number one do, as a publicist or as an artist?
As an artist.
As an artist, be genuine, be creative. Connect with your fans in like a human way. Don't feel like you need to go on TikTok and try to make something viral. That's, don't force anything because we can all see it and it just makes us cringe. So don't do that.
And I also wanted to know, as a publicist, you're helping these artists like build their careers. What has been some of the most like rewarding moments so far in your career?
Just like finding a band who is like absolutely up and coming, just like who will approach me genuinely being like, we just want to try something, and like falling in love with the music and just like seeing them go from absolutely brand new to like big blogs and like cool blogs backing them up, and seeing people talk about them on Twitter. Those are the things where it just makes me super, super happy. Just like seeing a band who deserves like recognition really get it, you know?
Do you feel like a parent in those moments?
I wouldn't say I feel like a parent.
Like a cool aunt?
Maybe. I just feel I'm in PR and I'm still in music because I still get so excited about it. I think I'm too excited sometimes, but it's genuine excitement and it'll never go away for me. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe a cool aunt is how I feel like that. Because when I see a band, like I'm working with this band right now called Why Not. Everyone should go listen to them. Who are just like kind of getting into PR for the first time, or like using a publicist and seeing people react and like feedback from writers being like, yo, this is dope. And I'm just like, I told you. So I would say the feeling I get more is like, I told you so. Like I told you that it was good, you know?
Well, other than Why Not, are there any other bands or artists with Big Picture Media that you're like really excited that we should listen to right now?
Oh yeah, a band called Super American. They just put out an album called Sup. They're from Buffalo, New York. Heart Attack Man just put out a very cool EP. There's an artist, Fen, that we work with that is very cool. Lots of cool things. And there's like a lot of good stuff coming this year. So I'm excited about all of that.
All right. And lastly, can you tell people where they can find you online if they want to talk about Ryan Merriman or just music, get excited with you, Harry Styles?
Oh, yes. My pleasure. Twitter, I'm Nat_Schaffer. Instagram is Natalie_was_here. Facebook, I don't really use it, so try your best. And then Big Picture Media is where I work and where all these cool bands can be found as well.
All right, Natalie. Well, thank you so much for taking the time on a beautiful Saturday to talk to me about your 2000s crush. And everyone, you can find all of Natalie's information below in the description. And until next time, keep crushing it.